I mean, like, I'm gonna go buy the album. I saw it at Target. I didn't have enough money for it, but I was gonna go buy it at Target. I think I'm gonna go buy it when I go back there. But yeah, Django Unchained, really good movie. And the number one movie that I liked in 2012 is, before I tell you what the movie is, a couple things. One, I'm technically kind of cheating on this one just a little bit, considering this movie did not come into the theaters. But, you know what? If there was ever a film throughout the entire year of 2012 where I was hyped to see it throughout most of the year, loved every minute of it when it was released, and loved it even more after it was over, it would have to be this film. Okay, here's the thing. I am a huge fan of ThatGuyWithTheGlasses.com. Now, if you're not a fan of ThatGuyWithTheGlasses.com, you most likely have never heard of this movie. And if you are, chances are you've probably already seen it, okay? More than once, I grant you that. Let me just tell you why I really like this movie. It's not just because I'm a fan of the Nostalgia Critic. I'm a huge fan of Doug Walker and the Nostalgia Critic and Linkara and Spoonie and Film Brain and Cinema Snob and Nostalgia Chick and all these guys. I love their stuff. I love how they get so passionate about what they review. They're the reason why I do this show. I love reviewing movies and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. I love it. I have a passion for film. I really do. And the thing with this movie, see, let me explain a little bit for those of you who don't know. Doug Walker is an internet celebrity who plays a character called the Nostalgia Critic, and he reviews horrible movies from the 80s and 90s. So if you grew up in the 80s and 90s, you can pretty much identify with this, or if you find him funny, because he just yells swear words a lot, and but you know, he does take his reviews seriously. He does. But he's still playing a character, okay? So anyway, he created this website called ThatGuyWithTheGlasses.com, because he's that guy with the glasses. Get it? And every year, he and all these other reviewers who have their own shows on the website do a huge special, you know, because it's the yearly anniversary of their website. The first year they did a half-hour video, The Brawl, which was them having a huge, you know, battle, you know, all video game reviewers on this side, all movie critics on this side, and they would have a huge battle. And, you know, it was pretty good. The second year comes around, and then they started doing, like, a movie thing. Like, the second year they did here, I'll show you, hang on. Right here. I have these on DVD. You can buy these movies on DVD at theawesomestore.com if you want to check them out. Or you can see, I don't know if you can see the second year and the third year, because concerned they're not on the list anymore. But if you want to check them out, they're on YouTube or on ThatGuyWithTheGlasses.com. The second year was Kick-Assia, and I have the DVD right here. In this one, the Nostalgia Critic and the crew take over a micronation in Reno. And you know what? It's a stupid movie, but it's funny and it's hilarious, and I really liked it. I still do. Third year comes along, and it's Suburban Nights, and this is a movie. Now, here's the thing. If you want to watch To Boldly Flee, you have to watch this one first, because To Boldly Flee is the sequel to this. And this is a movie, again, they do the same thing. The critic takes the crew, and they dress up as fantasy characters, and they have to go find this gauntlet that's apparently worth a lot of money. And it's really, it's actually pretty good. It has a lot of stupid, funny moments, but there are a lot of dramatic moments. And then the fourth year comes along, and you got To Boldly Flee. Now, this is why I love this. This is why I love To Boldly Flee. Okay. Doug and Rob Walker, the guys who write the Nostalgia Critic show, who wrote this movie, and Doug Walker directed it, and he edited it. What I love so much about this movie is the writing. I love how much they satirize, like, To Boldly Flee pretty much satirizes every sci-fi movie known to man, okay? At least the really pop culture ones that have been out within the last 30 to 40 years. And you know what? I haven't seen all of them. I haven't seen the Star Trek movies. And I gotta say, I know it sounds weird coming from me. I know what happens in them, but I haven't seen them. I haven't really seen all the Star Wars movies. I've never seen Ghostbusters. I want to see Ghostbusters. I've never seen it. I know you're probably wondering, what, you've never seen it? No, I've never seen it. And a lot of scenes in this movie satirize moments from these great sci-fi films. And when I would say, oh, I really like this scene, a lot of people would tell me, that's from Ghostbusters, this is from that. And I'm like, really? Because you know what? It works. It fits in with their story. Now, let me tell you the story about this one, because here's the thing. To boldly flee, these specials kept getting longer and longer. Like, Kick-Assia was an hour and a half. Suburban Nights was 2 hours. This movie's 3.5 hours long. And the funny thing is, it doesn't feel like that. It goes by really quick. It feels like a 2-hour movie, even though it's 3.5 hours. So this is the plot, okay? I know this is really hard for me to explain, considering you have to be a fan of that kind of the classes.com in order to watch it, so this movie might not be for everyone, but this was the movie I was most hyped to see. I loved it so much when it came out on thatguywiththeglasses.com. It's a really good movie. It's got universal acclaim. Movie critics have seen it. From what I hear, they liked it. They thought it was a good homage to their films, like famous people who made Ghostbusters and films like that. They saw this movie, they thought it was a good homage to their films. And, okay, this is the story, okay, because it's hard for me to, there's just so much. Okay, here's the story. In this one, at the end of Suburban Nights, one of the characters dies. And I'm not going to tell you who, because if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it for you, but if you do, you already know. So, one of the characters dies, which means that and what they do a spoof of what happens at the end of Star Trek 2. Okay, that got a laugh. I love that. Well, To Boldly Flee picks up right at that point when apparently the character has created a plot hole. But it's like a wormhole thing in space, and the critic and the gang have to go out into space to find out what it is. So what do? They turn their house, and the critic turns his house into a spaceship. And again, it's much. I think they're satirizing the Disney Pixar movie Up with this, minus the balloons. I don't know. But so they go into space, and the villains in this movie, like again, they're satirizing every science fiction movie known to man. The villains in this movie are Turl from Battlefield Earth and General Zod from Superman. Or Superman 2, I don't really remember. But those are the villains. And also, there's a villain. They also have a robot who is Linkara's psychotic robot double, Mecha Kara, who is a robot sent from Turl to pretty much wipe out the crew on the ship. Now, here's the thing. This might sound like a lot. This might sound like a stupid idea. It's a bunch of pop culture references and critics and everything. But you know what? It's a lot better than spoof movies today, because spoof movies today, what do? They take scenes they like from certain movies and they do kick-to-the-crotch jokes. They do slapstick. They do horrible, horrible movies like that. This is good because what they do is they have certain scenes from from every sci-fi movie known to man, and it works somehow. I don't know how the hell Doug and Rob did it, but it works. It really does work. Or maybe I'm just saying this because I'm a fan of them. I don't know. This movie obviously is not for everyone. I showed all 3 of these movies to my mom. She liked Suburban Nights the best. She couldn't even get into To Boldly Flee. She saw like the first 40 minutes of it. She couldn't get into it. But again, it's not for everyone. I get it. But it's really, really a good movie. If you want to see this movie, it's on YouTube. It's on thatguywiththeglasses.com. Just type in To Boldly Flee. It'll come up. If you want to see it on the website, thatguywiththeglasses.com, click Nostalgia Critic and scroll down a little bit. You'll see it. It's separated in like 8 different parts because it's a 3.5 hour movie. But again, it's really good. It's a good movie. I loved it. I know I'm kind of cheating considering it didn't come into theaters. The effects in this movie, here's the thing with the effects. The special effects in these anniversary specials, in my opinion, they just kept getting better and better. In To Boldly Flee, for the budget they had for these movies, it's really outstanding. I mean, they're not Hollywood. I mean, like they're not Hollywood gold, but who gives a shit? I mean, most of the effects in Hollywood aren't that good anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I was actually really surprised at how much they upped it. You know, like they really upped the ante on this one, and it was really a good movie. I really enjoyed it. You know, they poke fun at Star Trek, they poke fun at Star Wars, Contact, Dune, almost every single sci-fi movie you can think of, they take a few jabs at it. The aliens that they make fun of. Yeah, it's just a really good movie. And here's the thing, it's not a predictable movie, and I love films like that. I love movies that are not predictable. Because when you watch, because here's the thing, when you just watch the trailer for this movie, you can kind of have an idea of where it's going to go. I had no idea that it was going to go to where it went at the end of the movie. Really good, really fascinating twist at the end of the movie. Like, seriously, I can go on for hours about this film. Really loved it. I got nothing else to say about it, but for me, like this, and you know, here's the funny thing. One last note about this movie. It's very influential. And the reason why I say that is this. This movie's a 3.5 hour long film. You'll never, if you're not a fan, if you're a fan, you probably already know all this, but if you're not, guess how long it took them to film this. Now, I don't know, I'm guessing, but considering what I've seen on their on Doug Walker's Facebook, because he wrote a little bit about this while they were filming it, it took them 6 days. 6 days! I mean, to what I know, 6 days to film like 90% of this. The movie's 3.5 hours long. I don't know how the hell they did that. I don't know how they did it. My guess is 18-hour days and a shitload of coffee. That's what I'm guessing. That's how they did it. I don't know, but I'm guessing that's how they did it. And such a kick-ass movie. Really loved it. Really enjoyed it. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're not a fan of ThatGuyWithTheGlasses.com, you're probably not going to like this movie. But if you are, you most likely have seen it. But even if you haven't seen it, give it a shot. Just give it a try. 3.5 hours is a long time, I grant you that. But it's really funny. You know what you should do? Here's what you should do. Watch a couple episodes of The Nostalgia Critic, especially the Battlefield Earth review, because this movie ties in with that from that review. Watch some episodes of the Nostalgia. Just type in Nostalgia Critic on YouTube or ThatGuyWithTheGlasses.com. You'll come across it. Seriously, this, in my opinion, is the best film of 2012. And I know it didn't come in theaters. I know it's an online movie. But you know what? It's really good. And I can't wait for the 5th year anniversary. I don't know what they're going to do, considering they said this was going to be the last big one. I don't know how they're going to be able to top that. I don't think they can top this. But To Boldly Flee, yeah, this is, I think this is the longest time I've ever talked about one of the movies on this list. But anyway, that's it. Those are the movies I loved that came out in 2012, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if your favorite movie wasn't on either of these lists, whether I didn't like or I did like, chances are I probably didn't see it, or I probably might have overlooked it. I very well could be. The Academy does that with a lot of movies and stuff. So yeah, I will see you guys later, and I hope you guys enjoy watching the Oscars. And yeah, that's 2012. Not the movie, the year. So, I will see you guys in the next review. Take care.